have and how to calculate the number of items. And so we're going to do that using a really big example, which is Chipotle, which we started on Monday. And then I will probably give you guys a problem to work on at home as a homework assignment that will relate to this. So let's go ahead and get started. So on Monday, we started talking about this, the fact that on one of the Chipotle cups, they claim that there's over 60 some thousand flavor combinations. And so we set off to find out if we feel like this is true or not, if we could, sue Chipotle for free, Chipotle for life. I'm just joking. But, if we really think that's true, do we think their claim is true? And can we prove it? So, I think this is what we had so far in terms of if you go to Chipotle and you order, you can either get a bowl, you can get a tortilla, or you can get a bowl with a tortilla in it, right? Then we had, and correct me if I'm wrong, so I'm going to need you guys' help a lot today, right? We have black beans, pinto beans, both or none. We have white rice, brown rice, both or none. We had chicken, steak, is it pork, veggie, sofritas, and none for our meat. Is that right?
Yeah, but weren't we gonna do like the different meats together?
Oh, do we want to do that? That's what you thought, Anton? Hmm. We could. We could do that. So how many different meats do you think you could combine? Like, are you just doing combinations of two? Or are you going to do that you could combine two or three or four or more together? What do you guys think? Oh, Anton says you could have that category and have two options, the meat and none of the meat. You could do it like that so that you could pick each one. Do you see what Anton's saying? So instead of it being like this is one choice here, you have three to choose from. I mean, that would stay the same, and four to choose from here, four here. And instead of having six to choose from here, Anton is saying we could do chicken or no chicken, steak or no steak, pork, no pork, veggie, no veggie, tofu, no tofu. And then that way, um, you could pick chicken and steak or chicken, steak, and pork, and then you would have that choice. I like that, Anton. That's one possible way to do it. Um, I'm just thinking in my head mathematically ahead a little bit. So if you did it that way, and that's why there is no, so when I researched this problem a while ago, there is no agreement about the number. I mean, because there is so many different ways that you can pull this together. So kind of I'm going to start a new, let's see, can I have another paint file? Are you allowed to have two open? There we go. Okay, so what Anton is suggesting, which I think is good, is that we could do. So right now, this is a pick one of the six, right? So we would, if we were doing the counting principle, we would pick one of these six. What he is saying we could do is we could do chicken or no chicken, right? Um, steak, no steak. We could do pork or no pork. So, and so forth. And we could do veggie and sofritas. That's right. Am I missing any other meat? Sofritas. Oh. All right, so if we did it this way, which I think is a good way to look at it, Anton, I think that's great. What we would be doing, okay, what we would be doing is we would be multiplying here. If we we're using the counting principle, we would have two choices. This is just for the meats, right? We have 2 times 2. Hey, Otto, times 2. Otto, we're working on the Chipotle problem, and we're in debate about how to account for the meats. So if we do this, 2 times 2 is 4, times 8, 16, 32. So this is a multiplier of 32 versus here we were just going to basically be multiplying by what? If we were doing the counting principle. Here, the way this is written, we would be multiplying by 6, right? There's 6 different choices that we're saying that you could have. So by allowing the meats to be combined, we're saying that there's 32 different ways that you could come up with this. $32 different choices, right? I like it, Anton. What I was thinking is I think that's a great way to think about it. Oh. No, I like the way that this is set up, Anton. What I was thinking in my head, if I sound like a little hesitant, is what I was thinking is I think there's another way that we could set it up. And I was trying to kind of calculate in my head before I said what it was, but I'll just go ahead and do that on here. So if you use the counting principle, I think this is exactly right? You can pick which meat you want, and then that way you do get the combination if you pick all 5 meats, which would be a lot of meat, but you get that choice. Another way that I was thinking, this is why I was a little bit quiet for a second, Anton, and everybody, is that I was thinking you could also use the idea of combinations. So we have 5 different meats. We'll call them meats because tofu and veggie technically aren't meat, but you have 5 different proteins, I guess. Maybe proteins that you can choose from. So another way that we could actually do this, and so I don't know what the answer is, but let's check it out. So there's 5 different ways that, or 5 different proteins that you could choose from. So you have 5 different proteins and you could choose none of them, right? In reality, you could pick, I'm not going to pick any of these. I'm not going to pick chicken, steak, pork, veggie, or sofritas. Or I could, out of the 5, I could choose one of them. Like I just want chicken on my burrito. Out of the 5, I could choose 2. So I want chicken and veggies. Out of the 5, I could choose 3. So this is a different way of calculating. And I'm not saying that one's right or wrong. I was just thinking, oh, well, this is one way. I could, out of the 5, I could choose all 5. Right? And then if I add all those together, that's a different way to come up with the number of combinations of flavors that I have. All right. So remember that the C stands for combination. So that's where the order isn't picky. I wouldn't use NPR because that would mean that, like for example here, if I used 5PR or 5P2, 5 pick 2, that would mean that chicken and steak is different than steak and chicken. So by using the NCR, the combinations, I don't care if it's chicken first and then steak or steak then chicken. I'm going to count those as the same. Okay, so I'm curious to see what this adds up to be. I am going to use duck donuts is what we're going to talk about next. Desmos, help me out. Pop that out. So does that make sense what the alternative and Anton, I think they're both valid ways to do it. I'm just curious what they're going to end up being. So remember your NCR and your NPR are under stats. So we have 5 choose 0. So there's only one way that you can choose none. Plus, I think I'm just going to have to keep recopying this. 5 choose 1 plus 5 choose 2 plus 5 choose 3 plus 5 choose 4. Oh, I was wondering if that was going to happen, Anton. All right, well, let me expand this out so you can mostly see this. So what I did is I did the choosing method where we choose each of them, right? And if you do the choosing method for something this pure, then you get 32 different ways. So all that work to find out that either way, we would end up with 32 different combinations. So I think 32 is a pretty safe number. What do you guys think? Olivia agrees. What about everybody else? Does that make sense how we got to 32? Works for you? All right, cool. All right. So back to here. We'll leave this listed by like this, but instead of 6 here, we'll say that when you get to your protein, there is 32 different ways that we can choose our protein. Could we have used that methodology for this, the beans or the rice? So we could have done black beans, yes or no, pinto, yes, no. It would have just been black or pinto. Yeah, we could have used the same strategy, right? Yeah, same, both is easier. I agree, Anton. So what I mean by that is right now, this list, there are 4 different possible choices, right? You can choose black, pinto, both, or none. If we would have rewrote it in the other way, yes, exactly, Anton. Since there's only 4, it's easier than 5. You could have just said black. Black beans would be gross. So you could have black beans or no black beans, right? And then you could have, and we won't do this, I'll erase this. You could have pinto or no pinto, right? And so here you would have 2 choices times 2 choices. So you would end up with the same 4. So we're just going to leave it in a list like that since it's easier, as Anton said. Anton, you must have a good brain for probability and statistics. It seems to click for you, so that's awesome. Okay, so we've got 3 choices for our vessel, right? We've got 4 choices for our beans. We've got 4 for rice, and we have 32 for our protein. So what else do we have now? Got all kinds of stuff, right? So I think for these, I think for all of our toppings, I think we're going to be best to do, like, for example, we could do cheese or no cheese, right? What else do we have? Let's save the sour or the salsas. So I just said one. What else do we have? Sour cream. No sour cream. Oh, yeah. I don't think they have more than one type of cheese. I think it's just the queso cheese. Okay, lettuce or no lettuce. Well, they have like a cheese. I think they have a cheese sauce that you can buy for your chips, but oh, I don't know if we would, if you would, if they're still selling that or not. People didn't like it, Anton, and they thought their queso was bad. I never tried it. Um, oh, I forgot one. Anybody know another one? Cheese, sour cream, lettuce. What about guacamole? Does that spell right? I don't know. Peppers. Oh yeah. Oh sorry, Olivia. I did see you said guacamole. Um, peppers. Did we count the peppers as part of the veggie, or was that something different? Okay, the peppers are in the. I think that's yeah. I think they're counted in here. I think. I mean, I guess you could put them separately, but we kind of counted them in there, so that's good. Anything else? I'm just trying to think. Should have went into Chipotle and took a picture of their menu. Let's see. I was gonna search for Chipotle menu, but I was a little scared to see. You never know when you Google. Okay, so I just Googled. Hmm, interesting. I just Googled for toppings and I don't see it on there. I guess I should look in my Chipotle app, right? I don't think there's any other ones besides the salsa, right? Cheese, sour cream, lettuce, guacamole, salsa. I think that's it. All right. So for our toppings here, we have cheese or no cheese. So that's two choices. We have sour cream, we have lettuce, and we have guacamole. Oh, tomato. Yeah, there's four salsas. Kirsten, is tomato part of the salsa? I think it is. I'm looking at a menu here. The four salsas are fresh tomato, roasted chili corn, tomatillo green chili, and tomatillo red chili. So how should we, here's the question, if there are four choices, I am a wimp, by the way, and I only get the fresh tomato because I can't handle spicy things. Who likes spicy things? According to this fancy website that I'm at, Chipotle, here are your choices for your salsas. The hot salsa. Okay, so how do we want to do this? Do we want, and none. Oh yeah, thanks, Anton. And none. Non-spicy people like me, none. Um, how do you want to consider this? Is it possible? Are you only going to pick one salsa? And if that's the case, I guess, or do we only want to pick one salsa, or do we want to choose? Can you choose more than one salsa? And so depending on that decision depends how we're going to calculate the number of combinations. All right, Aaliyah feels strongly. She's coming out and saying you can pick multiple salsas. All right. I would choose, and Noah says he choose more than one because you usually get more than one. Okay, multiple. So if we want, why does this, I don't know why I keep getting notifications on the computer. Um, if we want more than one, then we have to do kind of our side project again, right? We could, I guess, we could do two things. We could write on here fresh salsa or fresh tomato salsa, none, roasted chili, not roaster, roasted chili corn or none, and each of those. Or we could do the kind of the side project like this where we do choosing. So there are, let's see. Does anybody know the math just looking at this? So here there were 5 different choices. So we did 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, right? Now we have four different salsa choices. So what are you going to end up with? How many different combinations of salsa will we get if I took one choice out? I know this is meat. There you go. Anton's got it. 16. Does that make sense? Or if I wanted to write it for space sake, we'll put it like this, okay? Okay. So there's 16 different ways that you can order your salsa. Okay. All right. Anything else we want to consider as it's running off my screen here? Anything else we want to consider when we're coming up with your flavor combinations? When I was looking at the website, one of the things they had for it said like, to order your Chipotle, it said, let me look at the picture again. It said burritos, tacos, and salads. So your choices were burrito, burrito bowl, taco, and salad. The nacho cheese, I don't know. The salad, I feel like, is accounted for with this lettuce or no lettuce. So if you got a salad, basically you're getting a bowl with lettuce. So I feel like the salad is accounted for. Let's see. So the nacho cheese, like the cheese sauce, Olivia, do they still sell that? Cool. You know what I'm doing right now? I am looking in my Chipotle app to see if I can choose that. So you've got chicken, steak, carnitas, barbacoa, sofritas, and veggie. White rice, brown rice. I'm just looking in my app. That would have been a good place to start. Things to top it off. So Olivia's right. There is queso. Then there's fresh tomato salsa, guacamole, the chili salsa, green chili, red chili, sour cream. They put their veggies in the toppings, but I think it's okay where we're at. Cheese, lettuce, and then if you want a side of chips. We haven't talked about chips yet. So let's put the queso in. Does anybody order queso? Queso or no queso? That's not spelled right. Uh-oh. Aaliyah, we only have 5. Let me go back to my app and see what they've got. I felt like there was more than that too. Okay, so they've got in their app, they have chicken, steak, carnitas, which is pork, barbacoa, and sofritas. So there is this, what is barbacoa? I don't even know what barbacoa is. How's that different than carnitas? Well, whatever barbacoa is, we have another choice here. So we have, oh, it's going to be out of order. It's not going to be pretty, but that's all right. We'll add it in. Barbacoa. Barbacoa is beef. Beef braised. So what does that do to our number then? Good thing we have this on our side note here. So now we also have barbacoa, or no, barbacoa. Multiplies it by 2, exactly. So now we have, I don't know why it's in bold now. We have multiplies by 2. So basically we have 32 multiplied by 2, which is, now we have 64 different meat combinations. Or I should say protein combinations, right? 64 protein combinations. All right, are we accounting for chips or no chips? What do you guys think? No chips. Aaliyah feels strongly, no chips. Does everybody agree with Aaliyah? All right, Noah agrees, no chips. Chips don't make the flavor combination. All right. So now what do we have to do with all of our choices? We need to multiply together using the fundamental counting principle, right? Ooh, if I can get my mouse to work, it's hard to do this here. I'm just use this times, 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 times. All right, I'm going to make my screen bigger so I won't see your chat for a minute. You guys calculate this too using your calculator just in case something goes wrong with mine. Okay, so there we squeezed them all into the screen. So I'm going to calculate it. I want you to calculate it, see what number you get. It's like drum roll moment here, right? And this is a crazy 64. That's here. That's just times 64 there. All right, I got a number. Drum roll. Okay, I get 1,572,864 flavor combinations. That's what Olivia got. Oops, sorry. I clicked on there. Anton got that. All right. That's what Noah got. Darn, I guess we can't sue Chipotle and get free Chipotle for life because their cup was wrong. Right? So I think that their well, their mathematicians may have been a little low. Maybe the cup is from a while ago before they had so many meat choices. Um, if this was before they had tofu, so let's take out one of the meat choices. Let's say we'll take out one, right? Instead, multiply by 32. We still have 786,000. So even if you take out one of these meat choices, we're still at 786,000, right? If you would have counted, let's say down here, we would have counted tacos as a different flavor combination, right? I mean, technically it's a different way. I don't know if tacos taste different than a tortilla, probably the ratio of food. If we would have counted tacos as a flavor combination, hold on, I make sure I have my math in here right. Yeah. If you would add tacos in, then all of a sudden you're over 2 million combinations. It's like 2,097,152. All right. So, how does everybody feel about that? Do you feel like that now you can go off in the world and come up with the number of combinations? I know you can. All right. So, I have one other side math question for you. It's related to this. Okay? So, when I was thinking about what kind of problems to do with probability and what was interesting and how we can kind of engage, um, a lot of people solve the problem in a similar sort of way to this. This was a very, um, I don't know, very common methodology for solving the problem, right? There is another way that people solve this problem, and that is kind of using this idea of combinations that we did off to the side. Okay. So, what I mean by that is instead of using the counting principle, they use combinations. And so, what they did is they looked at everything that we have. So, what could you actually, I guess, order? Okay. So, you could get a bowl, you could get a tortilla, you could get black beans, pinto beans, white rice, brown rice, chicken, steak, pork, veggie, so fritas and barbacoa, cheese, sour cream, lettuce, guacamole, tomato salsa, roasted corn, chili, and hot chili, and down at the end we could get queso. All right, so if I look at all my red check marks, besides bowl, because you don't really eat the bowl, but we're just going to count that. Um, you would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 21 different choices. Right? And so a different way that people solve this problem is that they said, well, I have 21 different menu items and I need to choose at least one to order something from Chipotle, right? I need to order something. I'm also going to say I have 21 menu items and I could choose just two of those items, those red check marks, all the way up until you get to I have 21 items on my menu. I could choose 20 of them, or I have 21 and I could choose all 21. So can you imagine? So what this practically means is if you have 21 items and you choose 21, it means that you put every single thing that's a check mark on your burrito or your Chipotle order. Okay. If you, on the opposite end, if you have 21 items and you chose one, you're saying that you could just go in and order sour cream. Like, I just want sour cream. And that would be a valid flavor combination. Right? So there's some that I think you would have to take out because really would you go in and just order? I mean, I guess you could. I just want black beans with sour cream on top of them. I mean, technically that's a flavor combination, right? That would be 21, choose two items. So this was a different methodology that some people out there use to solve this problem, is to say that a flavor combination could be one of the 21 items that you could order off the menu, or it could be 5, or it could be all 21 items, right? And then when you do this math, you end up with a really big number. So let's see what we end up with this. I guess before I even start doing the math, does this red alternative method, does that make sense too? Kind of why people might think of it that way. Gonna take a while here. You guys know what I'm doing here. Oh no. I just discovered that undo button. Thank goodness. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. All right. 21, 20. You guys following along? I mean, this part's easy. I'm just typing the numbers in to calculate it. 15, 14, 13, 12, almost there. 11, 10, 9. This is riveting math right here. Sometimes that's what math is, right? Just a lot of typing. 6, in theory, this next one should be 5, and then 4. Okay. So if we do the methodology where we do 21, choose 1, all the way through 21, choose 21, we end up with 2,097,172. So that number is actually the same number that we would have had if we would have done tacos. So I'm wondering if I threw something off there, but over 2 million plus combinations. So either methodology kind of gets you close to the same spot. I mean, 1,000,005, 2 million, 2 million, right? What this kind of assumes, though, is that you have to realize that you're saying that I could go into Chipotle and just order cheese. Just give me cheese. And that will be a valid flavor combination. So I think there's always an art to when you're talking about counting the number of items. And what I mean by that, like the art of it is yes, in theory, you could just go in Chipotle and order cheese, but really, would you count that as, yeah. Or would you count as just a plain tortilla? Would you count that as a flavor combination? Philosophically, I guess. So that's when you see, and we'll talk about this when we talk about like probability and polling and statistics and all that kind of thing, um, which I think is super interesting. But there's going to be discrepancy out there because it's based on assumptions. Like, if you're reading a good study about, if somebody claims, I don't know, you know, we have all these flavors or whatever they're claiming to be, right? If they make a claim, if it's a strong, like if it's a strong claim that they want to support, they will tell you what their assumptions are. Like, we got that there was 100 or 1.5 million combinations, but we assumed that you at least had to have two flavors. We took out that just one counted. Or, we assume that in order to have a flavor combination, you have to have three. So maybe when you're designing your research, you say, we're not going to count these two because we're not going to count it if you just order two items, which would actually, the two items would be your quesadilla, right? A tortilla with cheese would be a quesadilla. So it really just depends on how you design your study as to what you're going to do. Okay. All right. So what I'd like you guys to do is, and I will send this website if you would like. So for your homework, be working on 10.1 and 10.2. We've already finished those up on Monday. I have another project that I want you to work on that shouldn't take too long. So has anyone heard of Duck Donuts before? It's just a donut place that's in Mason. Well, you guys have all heard of donuts at least, right? So Duck Donuts is um sort of like a Chipotle, and that for donuts, right? So what you can do is, well, they have like some pre-made combinations for you, okay? Or you can make your own donut combinations. So you can say, I want one donut, and then you can pick, if I scroll down here, you can pick your coating. So you can have a plain donut, you could put powdered sugar, cinnamon sugar, chocolate, vanilla. You can put glaze on it, maple, strawberry, lemon, blueberry, or peanut butter. That's your like glaze on top of it. So let's say we pick, I don't know, chocolate. Who doesn't like chocolate? Um, if you pick chocolate, I don't know if this isn't working. Chocolate. Okay. Something's up with that one. If you pick chocolate, then you can pick a topping. So you don't have to have a topping. You could put rainbow, chocolate, coconut, peanuts, bacon, Oreos, or graham crackers on top of it. So let's do chocolate with Oreo. We might as well just make it totally unhealthy. And then after that, you can put a drizzle on top of that. So this is the covering of your donut, right? You have your plain donut, you put like a chocolate glaze over it, then you put Oreo crumbles, and then over top you put a drizzle. So you could do none, hot fudge, raspberry, blackberry, salted caramel, chocolate, vanilla, or marshmallow. Sure, let's go for marshmallow. And then you can keep making combinations from there. So, what I want you guys to do is to tell me how many combinations, and these are kind of like pre-done combinations. So this was, chocolate icing with chocolate sprinkles and hot fudge drizzle. This is like crazy chocolate. This is chocolate icing with peanuts. They don't do multiple. We're just going to assume you can't do multiple coatings because then it would just all get mixed together, right? And you can't do. We're just going to assume that you can just pick one from each of these categories. Okay. So what I want you guys to do for homework is to calculate how many possible flavor combinations of duck donuts there are. Okay, so if you want me, I can send you this. I don't think I can. I will try to send some screenshots of this to you. Or you can go to Duck Donuts order form if you want to just work on that. So that's your second homework is tell me how many combinations of duck donuts that you think that they could make in the store, given what they do. If you really want to be super accurate for a little extra challenge, this would require you going to the website versus me to send it to you. There are some combinations where they don't let you put a topping on. So like powdered sugar, you can't put a topping on powdered sugar. I'm assuming because it would slide off. Cinnamon sugar, you can. I don't know why. Let's see. Maybe that's the only one. So yeah, maybe try to take that into account. I'm just clicking through. Okay, so there is a caveat in that if you get a bear donut, you cannot get a topping on it. Like you can't get Oreo or rainbow sprinkles or whatever. And if you get a powdered sugar, you cannot get a topping on it. But if you pick anything else, you can get a topping on it. So if you can, go ahead and factor that into what you have. Yeah. Anton, if you can turn this in on Monday, like I said, it's just an assignment to just see how you guys would calculate it on your own. So I will send this out. We have 10 minutes now. I'll send out a screenshot of all these so that you have them with those two caveats. All right. Any other questions? All right. Well, I think that's it. I'm going to go ahead and send that out. And yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions. All right. Bye, guys. Have a good day.